The sun hung high over Willow Creek, a pristine suburban enclave where manicured lawns whispered of wealth and security. It was a Saturday afternoon, the kind where the air smelled of fresh-cut grass and possibility. Marcus Reed stood by his mailbox, a check in hand, a hard-earned payment from a grueling 3-month freelance software project. At 35, Marcus had clawed his way to this moment through 16-hour workdays, his dark skin glistening from a morning workout, his tank top clinging to a frame forged by discipline. The check was more than money. It was a milestone, a rare moment of relief. Then, a voice cut through the tranquility like a blade. "You people always get what you don't deserve." The words came from Ethan Carver, the 23-year-old son of Marcus's new neighbors. Ethan stood at the property line, a caricature of privilege in his crested button-up, backward baseball cap perched on blonde hair, and designer pants that screamed unearned wealth. His family had been a thorn since Marcus moved in, their quiet hostility simmering through performative gardening and pointed stares. Ethan's mother, Karen, with her perpetually manager-ready haircut, often joined him in these displays, as if Marcus's presence was an affront to their curated world. Today, Ethan crossed the line, literally, his eyes locked on the check, a mix of greed and indignation twisting his face. "That's a big check," he sneered, his tone accusing, as if Marcus's success was a crime. Marcus, wary but calm, replied, "It's a good day," and turned to head inside, hoping to leave the venom behind. Ethan blocked his path, a bold, proprietary move that stunned Marcus. "My mom saw the courier drop that off," Ethan spat. "She says you just sit at home all day. We pay crazy taxes here, taxes that pave the roads you use. My dad works for the government, serves this country. What do you do? Play on a computer?" The ignorance was breathtaking, but Marcus held up the check, thumb covering the amount. "I design secure data protocols for banks. It's complex, and it pays well." Ethan's face darkened. "So you get rich while my dad protects you? That's not fair." Then, in a surreal twist, he stepped closer, voice low. "Give me that check. Call it a community tax, restitution. You owe us." Marcus laughed, a raw burst of disbelief. "You're out of your mind. Get off my property." Ethan's rage erupted. "You think you can come into our world, get rich off our system, and laugh?" His finger jabbed toward Marcus's chest. "I know how you people are. You take and give nothing back. My dad warned me about your kind." The racism, raw and unfiltered, hung in the air. Marcus's patience, honed over years of navigating such hatred, vanished. "Get the hell off my lawn," he growled. Ethan's eyes flickered with fear, then smug certainty. He pulled out his phone, dialing with practiced speed. "Dad, it's me. I'm at the neighbor's." "Yeah, that one. He's threatening me. Get here now." The wait was a suffocating limbo. Ethan stood defiant on Marcus's lawn, phone in hand like a scepter, his smirk promising destruction. Marcus stayed by the mailbox, the check now a weight in his hand, his security cameras discreet but vigilant, watching silently. A black sedan prowled onto the street, its tinted windows screaming authority. Out stepped Richard Carver, Ethan's father, not the blustering cop Marcus expected, but a tall, athletic man in a sharp suit, his graying hair and cold blue eyes exuding menace. He looked less like an FBI agent and more like a fixer who erased problems. "What's the problem?" Richard's voice was a low demand, not a question. Ethan's arrogance melted into a performance of victimhood. "Dad, I was just being neighborly, and he went crazy, yelling, threatening to hurt me." The lie was audacious. Marcus, adrenaline surging, countered, "Your son trespassed, made racist remarks, and demanded my mail. He refused to leave. I'm the victim here." Richard's gaze, like a scanner, searched for weaknesses. "My son says you threatened him. Threatening a federal agent's son is serious." Marcus stood firm. "He's lying, and you're both trespassing. I have cameras recording everything." He nodded toward the house, expecting the mention of footage to pause Richard. Instead, Richard's lips curled into a predator's smile. "Cameras? Good. That'll make my report detailed." Then Richard moved, a blur of controlled violence. In one fluid step, he clamped Marcus's wrist with an iron grip, twisting until pain seared from wrist to shoulder. The check fell to the grass. Richard's fist slammed into Marcus's ribs, a precise blow that expelled the air from his lungs. Marcus staggered, vision tunneling, and Richard shoved him. His heel caught on a garden bed, and he fell, his head smashing against the brick porch steps with a sickening crunch. The world dissolved into lights and blackness. Richard's voice, cold and distant, was the last thing Marcus heard. That's what happens when you don't show respect. Pick up that check, son. It's evidence. Consciousness returned in a hospital room, a beeping monitor drilling into Marcus's skull. Antiseptic stung his nostrils, and pain throbbed through his ribs and head. A bandage wrapped his skull, his wrist in a splint. A nurse, kind but tired, said, "You took a nasty fall. Police report says you tripped while assaulting someone." The words hit harder than Richard's fist. A falsified report, painting Marcus as the aggressor, was already in the system. Cold dread settled in. They weren't just brutalizing him. They were erasing the truth. But the cameras, his silent witnesses, gave him a flicker of hope. He had to get that footage before Richard did. Discharged against medical advice, Marcus limped home, pain shooting through his ribs with every step. From their porch, Ethan and Karen watched, their smugness a grotesque parody of concern. Inside, Marcus ignored his friend's pleas to rest and booted up his security system. The footage was pristine. Ethan's racist tirade, his demand for the check, Richard's assault, all captured in high definition with clear audio. As Marcus watched his own fall, rage turned to resolve. They thought they'd buried him, but he held a digital ghost that could haunt them. Finding a lawyer to sue an FBI agent was like chasing a myth. Two attorneys balked at the mention of Richard's badge, citing governmental immunity. Desperate, Marcus found James Whitaker, a grizzled lawyer in his 60s with untamed white hair and a war room of an office. Whitaker listened, unreadable, as Marcus recounted the assault, the lies, and the footage. When he played the video, Whitaker's eyes gleamed. "This isn't just assault. It's a conspiracy to violate your rights under color of law, a felony. We'll file a civil suit, but we hold the video until they commit to their lies. Then we detonate it." As the lawsuit began, the Carvers struck back. Richard's law firm sent condescending letters, dismissing Marcus's claims and threatening countersuits. Bureaucratic sabotage followed. Marcus's credit card was canceled, his mortgage refinance denied, packages vanished. Karen waged a smear campaign, poisoning the neighborhood with lies about Marcus's aggressive history. Ethan grew paranoid, his bedroom glowing with monitor light, couriers delivering mysterious boxes. Marcus, isolated and battered, felt the walls closing in. Then Marcus noticed a detail in the footage. A small black object with a silver wolf insignia USB drive had fallen from Ethan's pocket during the scuffle. Ethan had snatched it back, panicked. Using his tech skills, Marcus scanned for signals and found a hidden, encrypted network from Ethan's room, pulsing with server-level data. On the dark web, he found The Den, a marketplace for stolen financial data, its logo matching the USB's wolf. Ethan, the entitled brat, was Finrer, a cybercrime kingpin operating under his father's nose. The irony was staggering. Richard, sworn to uphold the law, was protecting a criminal empire. Whitaker, thrilled but cautious, warned Marcus to hold this secret. They sent a complaint to the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility and an anonymous tip about the Den to a DOJ prosecutor, but both were ignored. Then a breakthrough. A colleague of Richard's, a weary agent nearing retirement, met Whitaker secretly. He revealed Richard's history of covering for Ethan, including a falsified travel voucher to dodge a credit card scam. The document was a crack in Richard's armor. With official channels failing, Whitaker went nuclear. He met with Sarah Klein, a relentless investigative journalist. Marcus and Whitaker laid out the assault, the cover-up, and the Den. When Klein saw the footage, her skepticism vanished. "You have him dead to rights," she whispered. Her team verified everything, uncovering Richard's past settlements for excessive force. The story broke on national TV, the video going viral. #Justice for Marcus trended globally, and public fury overwhelmed the FBI's weak response. Protesters swarmed federal buildings. The Carvers' world collapsed. Richard was suspended, his sedan gone. The FBI raided their home, seizing Ethan's servers and the Wolf USB. Ethan, unmasked as Finrer, faced decades in prison for racketeering and fraud. Richard was indicted for fraud, obstruction, and civil rights violations. Karen sold the house and fled. Marcus's settlement was massive but hollow. He founded the Digital Justice Project, funding legal battles and teaching kids digital ethics to prevent future offenders. New neighbors brought laughter to the street, and Marcus, scarred but unbroken, became an architect of justice. They tried to erase him, but he built a legacy from their arena, revenge not of destruction, but of creation.